Invoices are legally binding documents that you create and share with a customer. And in that case, to ask for payments for goods or services rendered. And on 390, we've made this issuance or creation of these invoices quite easy. So invoices can still be found in the sales aspect of 390. If you don't have access to that, you can ask your organization administrator and they can come to the App Store and look for invoices or search for invoices here. And you can give your role access. So from assistant, I can give her access to create updates, maybe to view pending and view paid, and that's all. I don't want her to be able to see other or access other resources or do other things regarding invoices. So if I do that, I could just decide to save and my assistant on her end will have access to invoice. And if I go to my assistant's account, if I go to sales, it's still empty, but if I refresh her page now and I go to invoice, now she can gain access to the three things, mine, pending, and paid. And if I switch back to mine and I go back to my own invoices under sales, I would see quite a lot more because I have full access to everything in invoices. Now, if you need further information about invoices, just click the help section here and I'll take you to our resource explaining how invoices work on 390 step by step with screenshots on how to carry that out on your end as well. So let's just jump into that. And the pending invoices will be here when you have them. The paid invoices will be here when we have them. Deleted invoices will be here. Then we also give you very quick analytics on all of the invoices that you have, how many of them are pending, how many are paid, and the cost of the pending and paid invoices. So these are crucial information just to calculate how much potential money is coming to your business would be. Then we have settings. In this case, same as transactions. You could just include whether the items have discounts per item. We have discount for all of the items at the end of the day, but you can specify whether you want discount per item. That's the keyword here. And other things, create anonymous invoices, which is the same as creating transactions without name, which means you wouldn't need to add the name of the person, which in this case, in some businesses, they want this, but in most cases, this will be turned off because you need to choose the name of the customer we are sending the invoice to. Then you can send the invoice automatically to the customer's email as well. Then other email settings and what the email would look like when they get it on their end. So you can define all of these things based on your organization's tone and voice here. All right. So I'll just save these new ones that I've done. And let's just quickly go to invoice. So let's go to creating a new invoice. And the interface is the same as transaction. All of our sales aspects have the same interface for ease of use. So because invoices can either be sent to a customer or a lead, in this case, depending on some different types of businesses and how they deal with their stuff. And so you could just go here and create either the customer or the lead. If it's a lead, you can see the pop-up says new lead. If it's a customer and you click new customer, you pop up and say new customer. You can fill the information of the customer and proceed. But in my case, because of time, I'll just select the same customer and choose. The invoice is already by me, but if I change the name to my assistant, I'll show you how that shows in a Jiffy. So it's going to show my assistant on her mine page. So payment account, the payment is to be made to this account and is issued on this date. And the due dates, let's say next 30 days or 20 days, depending on your organization, you can just select the dates you want the payment to be due. Then automatically send the invoice to the recipient's email as well. Then you just go on to add the products and services. So in this case, I have added the products just to be able to speed up this process. So I'll just do simple products. And invoices don't deal with inventory location because I've already issued those items and I just need to get paid for them. And I just need to select all of the products here. And once that is done, on the bottom right, there'll be additional information regarding this invoice. So if I want to apply discount comes, if it's a flat fee, it's Naira. If it's percentage, it's percentage. So it's the same way transactions work. So if I say discount is, let's say, 5%, and that's 3,000 Naira, the amount. And if I say it's a flat fee, and I say it's 5,000 discounts we're giving, Let's say tax is a percentage, 7.5, for example. That already automatically creates a plus amount, and for discount, a minus amount for that. Then shipping fee, if we did give them shipping fees, yes, we'll calculate that here. So let's say shipping fees were 2,500. So now we have the information here. We can type additional information based on whatever we want here. And let me just say this is a general information we are sending to you. Okay. And in this case, the customer will get this additional information like this, and you can proceed to creating this invoice. So if I confirm, the invoice will be created, and the customer we now have the spending invoice for this customer. And automatically the invoice has been sent to this customer's email, and the customer as well. Now from this part, we can copy the link here and share maybe via WhatsApp or Instagram to the customer, and we can also preview what the invoice looks like on this end. The account to pay into and all of that information would be here. So the account detail is here. We don't need to specify that separately because we've already selected it from the drop down. When we're doing that, the subtotal delivery, everything else calculated for that customer. Okay. And if I go back to the invoices, once the customer has paid, I can just click on Discover into transaction, and that would take us to the transactions page, auto-populating the transaction. Then I can define how the customer paid, whether it's for via cash, transfer, or POS. Let me quickly come back to this. In the meantime, let me show you the assistance page. If I refresh this page, the assistant now on their end should see the invoice in their name because they are the ones that are issuing. I'm assigning the invoice to this customer. So the customer now can look at this and be following up or just be tracking it. And in this case, the customer can still see all of this, or rather the assistant can still see all of this. And it goes to pending and it goes to paid, or rather not in paid. So I know it's pending and it's not in paid. If it's pending, this account manager or whoever in the business is responsible for this invoice and is tracking it. And if I go back to my own account, let me take this analytics in or let me go back to, let me open this invoice in a new tab. And I come here and I go to, in the mine section of my own account, it's not here because this is not my invoice. So that's why I cannot find it here. But for my assistants to confirm it's in their own end or on my end, no. But I can see it in pending because it's every pending invoice in business. And for paid, because it's not be converted here, I won't see it. Deleted, no. Analytics, yeah. So I can see now that we have one invoice. One of them is pending, none is in paid. And this is the cost of the invoice, cost of the pending. We give all of the simple analytics, which of the products are topping the invoice and which is a top invoice and who created it and who is it assigned to. So you can see who added it is different from the person who created it or is issued that invoice, or that is issuing rather the invoice. So you might have like an admin manager that comes onto units and handles all of that, but the invoice can be assigned to somebody else in the business. So it is by my assistant, but it was added by me. So that's what that change there means. Okay, so if I then go back to the other tab where I am converting that particular invoice to a transaction, let me do that again. So I come back here and I can click convert to transaction. Then I choose some information, okay, the customer paid via transfer. When the customer pays, or if the customer pays via the invoice link, we won't need all of this. But because let's say in some cases where they made a transfer, actual transfer to the account, and I still want to log this information, I just convert it. So converting it means there will be a link between both invoice and the transaction. All right. And any other information, all of the other information have been filled, the discounts, the shipping fee, and all of that. So I can just decide to create a transaction, and that is all. So in this case, I had a transaction and every other information of transaction will be present. And there's this new button here that says view invoice. So this transaction now has been linked to the invoice. And if you go to the invoice will say view transaction. So this way, it helps me see the link between both. So if I go to invoices again, and I go to paid, it's being paid because that's where it is with green. If you go to pending, it won't be there anymore. And if you go to paid, you click on it, you can now see the view transaction here. So that's the link 390 handles on the back end. So if I go to CRM and I go to customers and I click on the customer, now we have the invoice of that customer, or every form of invoice we've sent to the customer would be here alongside the transactions that we've carried out for them in the business. All right. That sums up the link between both.